And we are live right now. It is time for a check of your Mega 3 Storm Team live stream. We're going to bring you the latest weather, and we're going from all that dry weather we had last week, the week before we kept having burn bans issued to, well, expecting some showers. Not only that, the potential for some severe weather across the Arctic. This is our severe threat map, and in the green, these are areas where we might see a marginally severe storm. There is a slight risk for severe storms from Dallas to Little Rock in the areas in yellow. And then in the orange, that's where we're more likely an enhanced risk for storms. The weather conditions, better dynamics for severe weather there. And of course, we've been watching and kind of getting an idea of what kind of severe weather we may end up with in some of these parts. So here's what we've came up with. Now, the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma puts those maps together. We kind of watch everything, see how everything is coming together. And pretty much we have the perfect conditions for severe storms, not only for today, but also tomorrow, maybe a little bit on Sunday too. Now, the main issues that we would have with a storm that turns severe would be damaging straight line winds. That's going to be on the higher end of threshold when it comes to threats. And then the large hail, because the wind support, updrafts are going to be quite strong. Downdrafts will be too, but the updrafts should keep the hail forming until it gets to a certain size, maybe up to about golf ball size. Now, in the low end, where we might see some of these things, but the dynamics are not as much so there for these particular events, would be isolated tornadoes and flooding. Obviously, flooding, it would take a lot of rain for us to get to that point. Now, the tornadic thunderstorms, those are more likely to happen up into Oklahoma and they're into North Texas. We're going to keep you updated on all of this. Those weather conditions may change abruptly today, tonight, tomorrow, as storms begin to pop. Now, at the moment, what we have, Willis Knight Mega 3 live Doppler tracking some rain out towards Paris, all the way over towards Rockwall, out towards Kaufman, and into Gun Barrel City, Texas. They're seeing some showers, and just to the east, of Corsicana. We're getting a little bit down here into Nacogdoches also. Nothing severe, just a little bit of rain, very light rain starting to fall in those areas. Now, we'll go ahead and put a stop on this for you just so you can kind of watch everything as it moves to the north. What's going to happen is eventually, and as we warm up, those little bitty showers will start to kind of blossom and become a little bit heavier, and ultimately they could turn strong. And like we've been saying, they might even turn severe on us. So that's something that we really have to watch out for. Now then, with our radar, what we can also do, of course, we can check the velocities. We'll show you that real quick here. Now, with the velocities, you see the green on the map and you see the red. The green shows you where the winds are going towards the radar. The red is where they're going away from the radar. So as the winds move in from the south, they're showing up as green. And then as they're moving away from the radar, the Doppler effect turns them red. And we use this when we're looking at straight line winds, damaging winds, and also when we were looking for rotation inside of a storm. As some storms start turning severe, start showing development of rotation and potential hazards like tornadoes develop. So that's what we'll be using that for as we move into the next 24 to 48 hours. Also, we check out wind shear. Now, that's a turning of the wind with height. We're not seeing much of that at the moment. We head over here and just look at basically the water, the moisture that's inside these storms. And this gives us an idea of what we're looking at, larger raindrops and such. And right now, it looks like we are seeing some storms trying to build. The water molecules getting a little bit larger, showing you different shapes out there in the atmosphere. And although there's not much happening there right now, other than just a little bit of light rain, it does show you that, hey, that's an area that we need to watch that may very well turn into something a little bit stronger. The wind inside these little areas starting to pick up also. This shows you during severe weather, we would be watching this to show you where the debris is. This is our debris detector. And although there's not much debris out there at the moment, other than pollen, as we start to see the storms form, when it gets really windy out there, we'll be able to watch the debris detector to determine where there may be some rotation, where the winds are really starting to pick up. If there is rotation, if it's a strong tornado, it will show you where that debris is being picked up on the ground. And that helps you also determine that if there's no one around to see the tornado, They may or may not be a tornado in the works, or one that's actually made it to the ground and is causing some damage. And usually that's the case, and that'll show up with debris and the little debris ball on that hook echo. The storm, as it forms a hook, and right there where the tornado touches down, you start to get the debris. All these things we're watching, but at the moment, this is not any debris associated with a tornado. It's just the winds up there in the atmosphere starting to get a little bit stronger. And remember, we are expecting some storms today, but more numerous storms overnight and into especially our Saturday. Now for today, the storms, we just have a marginal risk across Caddo, Bossier, Webster, and over towards Claiborne and to the north. In the yellow, the threat starts to go up a little bit more. We have a slight risk of severe thunderstorms. And then from there up towards Paris, over towards McCurtain County, and over into Howard and severe, we start to see things transition from slight over to enhanced. And this is going to be the area where storms forming, turning severe, are more likely to be more dangerous, producing those straight line winds of 70 plus miles per hour, and also some tornadoes. So those areas, if you're traveling through over the course of the next 24, maybe 36 hours, just know you need to stay weather aware, as things can change quickly, especially in this kind of weather conditions we have now. So some rain down towards Nacogdoches and a little bit of wet weather out towards Paris. And right now we are warming up, starting to get some sunshine along with all that moisture moving in. So you need some sun to heat the atmosphere. You need some warm, moist air. And that's exactly what we have over there in Texarkana. 70 degrees now. The winds are south-southwest, south-southeast at about 11 miles per hour. And we're starting to see a little bit more sun in Shreveport, Bossier, Interstate 49 through Tower Cam Live. 70 degrees there, and winds are at about 11. Now, they're going to be picking up today at about 15 to 20, maybe gusting to around 25. Broken Bow Lake, a little bit more sun, still a lot of clouds out there. The wind's picking up, and it looks like they may be somewhat easterly at the moment. Temperatures up that direction, 66 degrees, most of us anywhere from 68 to around 70. So we started out cloudy this morning, and as the sun comes out, it's starting to warm things up. We get further away from the dew point. We start to see a thinning of the clouds and more sun, and that warms things up even more. And on top of the energy levels going up in the atmosphere, and the upper level trough moving our way, along with the cold front, we start to see by this afternoon some spotty showers starting to form. And we could see a little bit more than this, but the models give you a pretty good indication of where things are going to happen and about the time they will start to really kick off. Now, overnight and into tomorrow, we end up with the front moving in. That front's going to bring with it, behind it, you can see the winds right through here. The wind profile is coming in from the north, out ahead of it from the south. So along this front, we're going to end up seeing some thunderstorms. And some of these storms by the late morning, early afternoon Saturday could start to turn a little nasty on us. And they'll probably stay that way as we head between 4 p.m. and on into about 6 to 8 o'clock tomorrow night. But this is not necessarily the end of it. We get more rain heading into late Saturday night, very early Sunday morning. And then things will probably take a little bit of a turn, kind of we'll have a little respite before the next round being on Monday. In fact, we're looking at future rainfall right here. And this gives you a rough estimate of what we're expecting from today all the way through next Friday, a week from today. And we're talking about rain totals anywhere from 2 to maybe 4 inches of rain. I think we might end up with a little bit more than that with some of these showers training through, which means they're forming and they basically move through the same area over and over and over. And that's where you get those flooding problems with roads getting flooded and rivers and streams getting flooded because they just cannot support much more in the way of runoff. The water just keeps rising and you have big problems, big issues there. Today, spotty storms. Especially by late afternoon on into the evening. Some storms may turn strong, maybe severe. Winds will be upwards of about 15 to 20, gusting to 25. Tonight, line of storms forming northwest of the Arklatex. Some of these storms overnight into early Saturday will start to turn severe, especially as we warm up tomorrow. Tomorrow, temperatures are going to be around 80 degrees. We'll be in the 70s on Sunday. And all 3 days, starting with this afternoon, on into the end of the weekend, we're under yellow weather alerts. Now, those may be upgraded if conditions begin to change for the worse and we start to see more volatile thunderstorms further to the south. We may end up issuing a red weather alert late tonight or tomorrow. But right now, we're going to keep it at yellow. And rain and storm chances tomorrow, 100%. We're still looking at about a 50% chance of scattered showers and storms on Sunday. And then Monday, 40% chance of rain. And pretty much we've got rain in the forecast through the rest of next week. And next Wednesday, we're watching. The modeling here lately has been trending towards some severe potential for midweek next week, and it's been holding consistent with that. Temperatures upper 70s Wednesday. We'll get some nice cool air behind that front, and that may dip us down to the upper 50s come Wednesday night. And then on Thursday, we'll be around 70 degrees or so. So that is a check of your forecast. We will be monitoring this situation for you today and on through the weekend, and of course next week if the weather situation starts to go downhill. But definitely this afternoon, tonight, and tomorrow is when we're really starting to watch closely the threat of severe weather across the Arctic. We'll keep an eye on it. We'll be tracking these storms with Willis Knight and Mega 3 live Doppler radar and giving you the latest information all the way through Sunday and beyond.